the shadows, Pablo Escobar. Listen closely as we whisper through the rise and fall of the world's most infamous narco-trafficker. Fact 1. Pablo Escobar's first hustle was stealing gravestones. As a teenager, he took marble headstones from cemeteries, cleaned off the names, and sold them to crooked dealers. It was a small-time scheme, but it showed how early he was willing to break the law to make money. Fact 2. By the time he was in his early 30s, Escobar controlled about 80% of the world's cocaine trade. His cartel smuggled up to 15 tons of cocaine into the US every day. He owned the whole operation, from jungle labs to US street dealers. Fact 3. Forbes magazine listed Pablo Escobar as one of the richest people in the world for 7 years straight. In 1989, they estimated his wealth at $3 billion, though in reality, he probably had much more hidden cash. Fact 4. At one point, Escobar offered to pay off Colombia's $10 billion national debt if the government agreed to not extradite him to the US. It was a shocking offer that showed just how much money and power he had. Fact 5. Escobar had so much cash lying around that he spent over $2,000 a month just on rubber bands to wrap stacks of bills. His warehouses were so full of money that rats would eat some of it, and they'd lose about 10% of their cash every year to damage. Fact 6. While hiding from authorities in the mountains, Escobar burned $2 million in cash to keep his daughter warm. He used the bills as firewood because there was no other way to heat the cabin they were in. Fact 7. Escobar's private estate, Hacienda Nápoles, was like a drug-funded amusement park. It had a zoo, racetrack, bullfighting ring, dinosaur statues, and even a private airport. He used it to throw wild parties for celebrities and politicians. Fact 8. Escobar brought hippos to Colombia for his zoo, and now they've taken over. The original 4 hippos escaped after his death and started breeding. Today they roam wild in Colombia and are causing serious problems for the local environment. Fact 9. When Escobar went to jail, he actually built and lived in his own private prison. La Catedral had a soccer field, a bar, a jacuzzi, and even a waterfall. He picked his own guards and ran the cartel from inside. Fact 10. Escobar later escaped that prison easily. After he tortured 2 men inside, the government decided to move him. But during the transfer, he walked out the back door and disappeared. He had planned it all along. Fact 11. Believe it or not, Escobar once held political office. In 1982, he was elected to Colombia's Congress. But after his drug ties were exposed, he was forced to resign. It showed how money could even buy political power. Fact 12. The cartel used a simple rule: plata o plomo, meaning silver or lead. People were offered a bribe or a bullet. Thousands were killed, including police, judges, journalists, and politicians who refused to take the money. Fact 13. At one point, Escobar put a price on the head of every police officer in Medellín. He offered about $100 to anyone who killed a cop. This led to hundreds of officers being targeted by hitmen, many of them just teenagers. Fact 14. In 1989, Escobar ordered a bomb to be planted on Avianca Flight 203 because he thought an enemy was on board. The plane exploded mid-air, killing all 107 people on board. It was one of Colombia's worst terrorist attacks. Fact 15. That same year, Escobar also blew up the Colombian intelligence building in Bogota loved soccer and used it to launder money. He funded Atlético Nacional, a top Colombian team. In 1989, they won the Copa Libertadores, partly thanks to the money and influence Escobar brought to the club. Fact 17. Escobar didn't just give out money to look good. He made poor people feel like he was one of them. He built homes, parks, clinics, and soccer fields in poor neighborhoods. Many locals saw him as a hero and protected him from the police. Fact 18. How Escobar died is still debated. Police say they shot him in a rooftop gunfight in 1993. But his family claims he shot himself, saying he had always promised he'd never be taken alive. Fact 19. A group called Los Pepes went after Escobar in the end. They were made up of his enemies, rival drug lords, former allies, and even rogue police. They bombed his properties, killed his friends, and helped bring him down. Fact 20. Escobar buried millions of dollars all over Colombia. Even today, people still find some of it, rotted, moldy, and stuffed in plastic bags. Most of it is ruined, but the legend of his hidden treasure lives on. Fact 21. After Escobar died, his family had to flee Colombia. They were rejected by dozens of countries, until Argentina let them in. They changed their names and lived in secret, until the media uncovered who they were years later. Fact 22. Escobar's grave in Itagüí is now a tourist site. People visit it to take photos, leave flowers, or even small gifts like toy hippos and rolled up pesos. Some see it as a memorial, others as glorifying a killer. Fact 23. By flooding the US with cocaine, Escobar drove prices down. From 1981 to 1986, street prices dropped nearly 50%. The DEA admitted the drug trade was so big, they couldn't stop it anymore. Fact 24. Escobar helped invent drug submarines. His engineers built low-riding boats that could sneak under radar and carry tons of cocaine across oceans. These early narco subs changed smuggling forever. Fact 25. Pablo Escobar has become a global icon, even after death. Shows like Narcos, songs, books, tours, and even theme park rides still use his name and story. He's become a pop culture brand, even though his real story was brutal and tragic. Fact 26. The cartel built its own secret radio network. Dozens of hidden repeaters around Medellín rebroadcast police frequencies, so Escobar's lookouts could listen in real time. When cops changed channels, tech crews simply climbed hillsides at night and retuned the equipment. Fact 27. American pilot Barry Seal flew plane loads of cocaine for Escobar, then flipped to the DEA. When Seal's undercover photos of Escobar's men unloading drugs became public, cartel shooters tracked Seal to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and killed him outside a halfway house in 1986. Fact 28. Escobar's housing project, Barrio Pablo Escobar, still stands today. He replaced a Medellín garbage dump with 450 concrete homes, a church, and a soccer field. Decades later, over 10,000 residents live there, and many still call him Don Pablo with a mix of fear and gratitude. Fact 29. The cartel ran Sicario schools in Medellín's poor neighborhoods. Teenagers practiced drive-by shootings with pellet guns, learned motorcycle getaway tactics, and graduated to real weapons once they could put 2 rounds inside a paper plate while riding pillion. Fact 30. Every December, Escobar staged lavish Robin Hood giveaways. He rolled into hillside barrios with trucks full of toys, food, and stacks of 50-peso bills, tossing gifts from the back, while bodyguards showered the crowd with confetti. Fact 31. He loved cars, especially bulletproof ones. His collection featured armored Mercedes sedans, a Porsche 356, a fleet of Toyota Land Cruisers, and even a tricked-out jet-black Harley-Davidson he rode around Hacienda Nápoles. Fact 32. Escobar helped push a 1991 constitutional change that banned extradition. Lawmakers suddenly found suitcases of cash delivered to their homes. The amendment passed, buying traffickers a brief legal shield, until international outrage forced a reversal 2 years later. Fact 33. Escobar's mid-ocean headquarters was Norman's Cay, a tiny Bahamian island he shared with partner Carlos Leder. The strip had a 3,300-foot runway, fuel tanks, radar jammers, and guard towers. Planes loaded with cocaine from Colombia landed, refueled, and took off again for Florida, turning a sleepy island into a 24-hour narco hub. Fact 34. He washed drug money through seemingly boring businesses, Bogota pharmacies, Medellín taxi fleets, discount electronic shops, and even local funeral homes. By the time auditors traced a peso, it had passed through so many layers that proving its source was nearly impossible. Fact 35. Escobar popularized remote-controlled car bombs in Bogota and Medellín. Mechanics packed stolen vehicles with dynamite and ammonium nitrate, then detonated them by radio signal when targets drove past, turning city traffic into a deadly guessing game. And with that, our journey through the life of Pablo Escobar comes to an end. I hope these whispered facts helped you relax and that you're feeling ready for a peaceful rest. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a gentle thumbs up and consider subscribing for more unique content like this.